Broadcasting on Radio Star Worldwide. It's the Maverick Difference Radio Show with Paul Finck. When you want to step up and dare to be different. When you'll dare to be great and live to your fullest potential. When you are ready to dare to be a maverick and live the life of your dreams. Then it's time to listen to Paul Finck.
Welcome to the Maverick Difference Radio Show. This is your host, Paul Finck, hanging out here with you every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, every Tuesday, sharing what it takes to live life a little bit different. Now, why do you want to live life a little bit different? Because I got to tell you, the majority of the world lives life the same as everybody else, which is unhappy, depressed, just frustrated with what they're doing in their life and having no answers and no way out. And they live their life for the rest of their life just like that. And, well, I determined years ago that I wasn't going to be that person. That I was going to do things different than the average folk and create a different life accordingly. And now I'm here to share the message with you as to how you can do it too. How you can jump out of the rat race, jump out of what is going on in your life that, well, that frustrates you, that gets you down, that gets you beat up, that gets you depressed, that gets you to the end of your day going, oh man, another day, rather than, oh man, another day. And that difference is the Maverick way. And so I'm here to talk to you about the Maverick difference and what it means. And today we're going to focus in on target driven. Why people that are highly successful are target driven. They're goal oriented. They are here to create a difference, and they do it every single day by doing things just a little bit differently than the average folk. And so people that are highly successful, people that want to create a difference in their life, they are target driven, or what some people say is goal oriented, or oriented in a focused direction. I talk about having principal targets, and we're going to go into what exactly that means here. And principal targets is about creating a bullseye of everything you put into that bullseye, everything you want in your life, everything you want to create, everything you want to achieve, experience, have in your life. And you create a focused energy around it. You design it so that you are absolutely moving towards it every single day. There's an expression, you're either moving towards something or you're moving away from it. There's no standing still. And that applies to a lot of our life. We're either moving towards or moving away from our principal targets, our goals in our life, the ultimate dreams of what we want, or we're moving away from it. We're doing things to absolutely shun it, to drive it out of our life. Which is it? Are you moving towards your goals, your principal targets? Are you driven towards that target? Or are you moving away from that target? Every day life is going by, and I want to talk about just the idea of principal targets. Is that good or is it not? And it's interesting because, well, some people say, oh, no. You know what? Those target-oriented people, those goal-oriented people, well, they're missing the boat. They don't know what life's really like. Just breathe, smell the roses, why don't you? The difference is, and here's the key, is that one is if you command yourself to breathe. Pause and smell the roses. Well, that's a goal. They go, no, 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 that's not a goal. That's just living life. No, you've chosen that. You've chosen to do that. And what I want you to experience is choosing to do everything in your life. Choosing to bring in the joy, the happiness, the love, the passion, as well as the achievements of fame and fortune, if that's what you want. Only the people that have no goals, have no target as to what they're doing, and they're simply just living day to day. Well, here's the challenge. Does today look anything different than their day 10 years ago? Does today look anything different for them than their day that they had 15, 20 years ago? For most of them, they haven't moved. They haven't shifted. They haven't changed. There's a great quote by Zig Ziglar, and Zig Ziglar is one of my all-time idols. He is a motivational speaker from way back, one of the strongholds. I read his first book, See You at the Top. I read his book in 1987. 1987, that's how far back I've been studying this stuff and really getting clear with how to really bring it into my life. And Zig Ziglar is one of those people that, if you do not know him, have not read his book, absolutely, his books, absolutely go and grab one of his books, Zig Ziglar. And he said this: what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. See, it's not about, oh, I've brought in money into my life. I've brought in fame. I've brought in fortune. Although, believe me, that's great. I've been rich. I've been poor. Rich is so much more fun. Absolutely. Bring that into your life and accept that. However, here's the key. Who I am today, how I show up, is because of the journey that I've had, is because of the achievements that I've gone after. And because I've gone after them, I've improved myself as a person. And I've gone after skill sets and clarity and comfortness and congruency within myself, all because of the process and the journey. You see, without stepping your game up, without really focusing in on what you could be, you'd never quite become that new person. You never quite become that difference, because there is no direction to make it happen. I remember 10 years ago, I thought, yeah, that would be nice to be a speaker. That would be nice to be up there and sharing my thoughts, only I was too afraid. I was too concerned about people making fun of me. I was too concerned with a whole lot of chit chat in my head, and never quite stepped up my game to make that happen until 10 years ago, when I decided my goal was to create more. And I saw that going through that fear, that stepping up on that stage, that getting rid of that fear so I could be completely congruent and even do the things that I'm doing here, was a pathway to my success, was a pathway to who I wanted to be. Once I got clear with that, I stepped into that power and I learned skill sets. I learned more about myself. I learned more about how to really be real with people that I never got a chance to do before then. I never moved myself to that place. And my experience is that with people that are target driven, goal oriented, create principal targets that they then design a plan to go after, a plan to achieve, a plan to bring into their life, that those people do show up more powerfully. They show up more completely. They have greater experiences. They enjoy the fullness of what's possible in this life, which so few people ever get a chance to do. There's an expression, do what most people will never do for 5 years. Do what most people will never do for 5 years, and I'll give you a lifetime to be able to do what most people never get a chance to do for the rest of your life. That's where target-driven personality, that's where target-driven orientation in your life will bring you to be able to do things that most people never get a chance to do, to bring in experiences and opportunity that are rare, that only the few really experience fully. Dare to be one of those rare people. Dare to be one of the people that are different than anybody else in your world. So I want to talk about target driven. I want to talk about what it means to create your principal targets and what that looks like. I want to then talk about some of the little techniques, little pieces, if you will, on how to really make it real for you and how to do it the best that you can. Absolutely all this, and I mentioned this for those of you that want to delve deep. I have a 3-day boot camp that is coming up, and we were just talking about it. It's coming up in July 15th through the 17th. Absolutely. You like any of this, come join me and check out the MaverickSellingToday.com. It's MaverickSellingToday.com. Check me out. Come check out the event. It's a 3-day boot camp, only me on stage. And man, do we get deep in and really delve into components like this on the how-tos. Bring all this into your life and be a maverick yourself to create all the success you want. I'm going to touch on the what it means to be achievement oriented, to bring in targets or principal targets into your life. There's key components. Now so many people, they decide, oh yeah, I'm goal oriented. I want, my goal is to be financially free. My goal is to have joy and happiness. My joy or my goal is to create, peace around the world. It's like what those beauty pageant winners say as they're standing up there on stage. Yay. Only are they really doing anything about it? Do they really get focused in and accomplish all that they're talking about? You see so many of those things, financial freedom and joy and happiness and great friendships are all great wishes, only they're not targets. They're not principal targets. They're not goals. Here's what would be the difference. A goal, and you've heard, and there's a bunch of different expressions out there. There's SMART goals that they talk about, and there's a couple others out there on how to do your goal setting. I'm going to make it really simple. You want just 3 basic components. They've got to be defined. So define your goals in really concise terms. Simple sentences. You see, most of the time when we're talking and we go on and on about our goals, when we need about 5 minutes to express our goals, man, you're lost. Your goals should be extremely concise, simple, and when I say simple, think of like a simple sentence. Noun, verb, period. Maybe noun, verb, noun, period. I want $500,000 annual income in my life. Great. Very concise, simple sentences, not a lot of hoopla in there. One of the reasons why you want it simple and you want it to be a simple sentence is that, imagine this. Imagine you are walking down the street and you meet a stranger. And the stranger is somebody that is here and they want to know a little bit about you and what you're doing and how they can help you. And so you share with them your goals. You share with them your goals because you have it on a piece of paper, an index card, because they're very short, they're very concise. You're able to hand it to him, and he's able to read your goals. He should be able to, within 2 to 3 sentences that you answer honestly, he should be able to determine whether you've reached your goals or not. So let's say your goal is that I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, just saying 50 pounds, it may not be precise enough because you really need to put in your target weight. Because 50 pounds from what to what? When did you start? How much did you weigh? Did you weigh it in the morning or in the afternoon? Was there any consistency? Your target weight would be the perfect way to express it. So instead of I want to lose 50 pounds, I want to be a target weight of 197. Great. 197 is your target weight. You see the stranger, you hand him the goal. You say to the stranger reads the card and says, I want target weight of 197. He says, are you at 197 or below right now? Yes or no? He would know instantly if you had reached your goal. People say, so what's this got to do with, so I'm not sharing it with strangers. This is a ridiculous scenario. Why is that so important? Because the reality is every single day, it's not a stranger that you're talking to. It's actually your subconscious. And your subconscious goes to work for you on every goal that you have every single day, every moment of every day, whether you're sleeping, whether you're awake, whether you're focused on it or not. Your subconscious is working on how to meet your goals, how to help you achieve your goals in the fastest, safest way possible. When you make the goal too complex, when you make the expression a complex sentence even, your subconscious gets lost and cannot help you as much. You've got one of the best computers in the world above your shoulders. Use it. This is just one of the techniques to use it precisely. Make your goal simple. So we've got a simple goal. We've got a simple sentence even. We've got a few words that tell us and tell others, yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is what I want to achieve. Then you want to make sure that it's got a due date. It's got a due date. I know I want to reach 197 by December 1st. Great. Now you've got a due date. You've got a precise goal and one other component in there that you absolutely have to have is that you want it to be quantifiable. Why quantifiable? You want, and what I mean by that is you want a number in it. You want a number in it. Because the number makes it so it's trackable. And once the goal is trackable, you can keep track of it and keep on top of it. Anything that is trackable is measurable. Anything that's measurable will be measured. Anything that will be measured can be achieved. You want it to be trackable, measurable, quantifiable, so that now you know at any given moment how close or how far away you are from that goal. So now you have it simple. You have a due date. You have it quantifiable. Now you've got a real principal target instead of simply a wish. And when that stranger or your subconscious wants to go to work for you, they know when the due date is. They know what they need to do to accomplish where they need to go. You've got that target. Now it's your task is to create habits on how to achieve that target. Only you've got clarity around the target. Defining your target is one of the biggest challenges I have found with people not achieving their goals, not going after them, not being motivated for them. It's because they don't know where they are. They don't know what they look like. They haven't defined it to this level. And then they get lost in the sauce. They get lost in their day-to-day routine. They get lost in what they're doing. They get lost in where they're going, all because they didn't spend the time in advance to just define it out and make it clear. We're going to take that and take those components, and then I'm going to show you where to go with it. Once you have those principal targets all laid out, once you know exactly where you're going, there's a few other details, a few other ways to now implement that and put that into your day-to-day life to make it so much more powerful for you. Stay tuned. We're going to take a station identification break, take a few ads, and in the meantime, I want you to be thinking, are you clear with where you're going? And once you are you spending every single day working on getting there? We're going to talk about how to do that in just a moment. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. See you right after this.
This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show with Paul Finck. We'll be back right after this. The Magnificent Leader with your host, Patty Azar, can be heard every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on StarWorldWideNetworks.com. Join Patty Azar as she gathers insight and wisdom from magnificent leaders across the world. The Magnificent Leader has a zest for life and an appetite to live it to the fullest. They love their people, remove the obstacles to their success, and celebrate their wins with everyone. If you want to learn the secrets to creating joy, happiness, and success in your life and career, become a magnificent leader. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. or anytime 24/7 on StarWorldWideNetworks.com. Seize the Day with Susan F. Moody is heard every Saturday at 10 a.m. on StarWorldWideNetworks.com. Susan is a certified success coach, author, speaker, and radio host who for over 20 years has been working with aspiring entrepreneurs just like you. It's time to define your goals, build your dreams, accelerate your results, and create a richer, more fulfilling life. It's time to seize the day. Be inspired and empowered to live your life your way with your success coach, Susan F. Moody. Yes, you can. Seize the day. Saturday mornings at 10 on StarWorldWideNetworks.com. You're listening to Paul Finck and the Maverick Difference Radio Show. Now, here's Paul.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We are talking about, and by the way, this is Paul Finck. This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. And we are talking about being target driven, creating a tsunami in your life, creating a difference in your life by really achieving what you want. Defining what you want is the first step. Creating those principal targets in your life. And I want you to really be clear that you can achieve anything that you want in your life by simply focusing in on and creating that target. Deciding you want to, be a speaker, write a book, start a business, whatever you decide. Get married to the love of your life. Create a family, travel around the world, visit every continent in the world at least once. Whatever you decide you want to do, you can achieve it. It's up to you. These are the steps, and what I'm going over here are some of the key steps, some of the core foundational pieces to really make that possible in your life. First step is to create the difference in your life is to get clear with what your target is. Define it, then quantify it, put numbers to it, create a due date around it, and now you've got that target. You know when you're going to hit it, you know how you're going to hit it. Now it's a matter of putting together the steps and make it happen. Now, I talked about, and one of the examples I used was weight loss. And so for many people, that is on their agenda to get physically fit, if you will. And for most, that is at least a possible short term. It could be a long term. And well, now that I just mentioned those terms, what the heck do they mean? Short term for most people means sometime within the next 30 days to the next 3 months. And it depends on what you're talking about. Others, it could be as much as a year process. And the only way to clearly define short term is to know what you're talking about as far as long term. Long term usually will mean over a year. And usually it means 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and we start thinking long term. So for these purposes, let's put together a parameter. Short term means over the next 30 days to the next 3 months. Long term means 12 months to 5 years. Now comes the challenge. We've got short-term and long-term goals. You absolutely should have those. Sometimes there are short-term goals. Listen, I want to clean out my garage. That shouldn't be a 5-year game plan. That should be a short-term process. Something that you should be able to figure out how to do in the next 30 days. Long-term might be build my dream house. That may take over a year. To build up a company, to become an author, to travel to every continent in the country, in the world. Those are longer term visions, longer term goals, long term principal targets. Here's where people get challenged. On a day-to-day, how do I accomplish what I want to accomplish? How do I stay focused on short term and long term? Oftentimes short term, for instance, I deal with a ton of, and one of my focal points in training is entrepreneurism. I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years now. And over 30 years, I've had multiple different businesses. They might call me a serial entrepreneur. Now I run at least, depending on how you count it, at least 4 different businesses. And so as a serial entrepreneur, I know some of the challenges. And so as an entrepreneur, how do you stay focused on creating cash flow today, which is absolutely imperative to keep on keeping on, as well as create a vision, a long-term company that actually means something that I develop over time, and keep both of them running? Well, it starts with getting clear. So we've got our principal targets in place. And if you're debating, short-term, long-term, let's absolutely make sure we've got long-term targets on our list. We want principal targets that are at least 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, even 10-year goals, dreams, and desires. The rest will come after that. Once you have those long-term, so you've got a dream of being a speaker, for instance. You have a dream of writing a book. Well, to write the book, it may take over a year for you to get clear on the writing of it, to get it done, to get it published, and to drive it to bestseller. Yes, you can do that. That being said, what do you do today? Do you forget about it? It's a long-term dream. It's a long-term goal. It's a long-term principal target. I don't have to worry about it today. I worry about it tomorrow because it's long-term. I focus in on creating cash today. The book's not going to bring me cash today, so what am I going to do? You need to make sure that you, what I call reverse engineering it, where you take that long-term goal and you chunk, what we call chunk it down, where you break it down into its core components on what it takes to create that goal. So you want to write a book? Well, what's the name of the book? Well, what's the title? What's the book going to be about? You could even break down, well, what are the chapters going to be? How long a book is it? What would you write as the biography of who you are that would be on the back of the book? Who do you want to give you some accolades, maybe to write the forward of the book? Maybe there's somebody, a mentor that you have, or somebody famous that you'd like to write the forward of the book. I've done that for many people over the years. What do you want in that book? What kind of message do you want it to deliver? What do you want it to do for you? And you begin to lay all this down. Well, does that mean all this happens all at once? All done. I laid out the game plan. I didn't get it done yet. So I've got a long-term goal. I chunk it down. I lay out all the steps, or at least as many steps as I know now to do. Then I look at the list of steps and I say, what's the next one? What's the very next step that I need to do to accomplish my dream, to accomplish my principal target of writing that book? Well, the next step may be decide on a topic and decide on a name for the book. That's it. Those would be the first steps in your process. And so what I would do is I would take those steps and put it into today's to-do list. Your prioritized action items that you're going to do today, or I would actually recommend that you plan today for tomorrow. So you would put it in your action items today for what you're going to do for tomorrow. And now you have it on your action item. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to decide on the name of my book. Now, maybe that's too big a jump for you. Maybe that's something that's going to take you more than 15 minutes to do for your tasks for tomorrow. Maybe you really want to poll people as to what names they might think might be good. So your task for tomorrow may be post on Facebook for people to give recommendations as to what the name of my book might be. Give them a short description as to what topic you're going to write on and ask them for suggestions. Or maybe you write down 5 or 6 different ideas that you have and you put it on Facebook. Oh, here are my 5, 6 ideas. Which one do you like best? And get people to respond. That could be another line item in your task list about what it would take to write your book that you're then going to bring into your day-to-day activity for right now, for today, or for tomorrow to actually get done. See, so what we're doing is we're taking our long-term dream, our long-term principal target, and we're reverse engineering it to say, what do we do today to drive to that year-long vision, to that target that we're going to hit in a year or longer from now? So one of the major pieces that I see people miss is that they miss connecting long-term to short-term. They miss connecting what they are looking to do in the future, what they're looking to achieve, accomplish, to what they do today. How many of you would like to achieve just a fraction of a step closer to your goal right now? Well, guess what? The way to achieve your goals, the way to achieve everything that you want, is to move yourself a fraction of a step closer to your dream, to your goal, every single day for the rest of your life. You move yourself one step closer every day to where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to achieve. Your life will absolutely change. That's 365 more steps towards your dream in 1 year. As you go to the second year, third year, fourth year, it's why we say, give me 5 years. Give me 5 years and imagine how many of those dreams and those goals you will have achieved. Starts with taking that vision, taking that target, moving it and reverse engineering down to absolutely the key steps it's going to take to create it. And then putting it into your day-to-day tasks and saying, okay, I know this isn't something that's going to bring me cash today. I know this isn't something that's going to bring me income today. I know this isn't something that is going to change my life today. However, when I take just a piece of what I'm looking to accomplish in a year or more from now and take a piece of that and do it today, I'll be one step closer and I'll be able to create the life of my dreams. Is this powerful? Is this important to you? I got to tell you, everything that I've achieved in my life, and especially for me over the last 10 years, I've done quantum leaps in what I've achieved, what I've accomplished. I've written, for instance, at least, depending on how you count it, at least 3 books. That's 3 real hardcover books versus, and when I say counted, I mean, do ebooks that are several hundred pages, do they count? I don't know. I've hardcover, absolutely published books. I've done 3. I'm producing another one right now, writing it as we speak, looking to be out later on this year. Powerful process. And the only way I accomplished all that as a one small fraction while I was doing other things, creating other momentums, building up my other businesses, is because I chunked it down. I did this exact process of clarifying exactly what I wanted and then moving it into a step-by-step process and then taking the next step and moving it into my daily routine right here, right now. Do it today. So what do you want to accomplish? What's your principal targets? What could you do today? Here's the message for you. Pay attention. What could I do today to move my life closer to that dream, to that target, to that vision? This is Paul Finck. This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. And I want you to get the power of what I'm talking about. We're going to be right back after this break talking about some of the key components that you can be adding to the mix to really maximize your efforts. Right after this, everyone.
This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show with Paul Finck. We'll be back right after this. The Marketing Checklist with Hank Uloff, live Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on Star Worldwide Networks. Marketing is a science of choice. If you know that you need to do something to increase your sales, but aren't quite sure what that something is, making it easier for your target market to find and choose you is what the Marketing Checklist is all about. Get an extra set of eyes on your business with the Marketing Checklist. Hank will help you find the right targets, technology, and behaviors to get you on the right track, making it easier for your target market to find and choose you. The Marketing Checklist with Hank Uloff every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Also, anytime, 24/7 on demand at StarWorldWideNetworks.com. Don Cromwell Live, an insightful, entertaining look into all aspects of the music industry. Join producer, songwriter, musician, and former Air Supply and Eddie Money bassist Don Cromwell as he brings you live performances and interviews with new artists, songwriters, and behind-the-scenes professionals, as well as a vast array of musical talents and personalities. Don Cromwell Live connects you with the artist. You'll never hear music the same way again. Host Don Cromwell brings you Don Cromwell Live, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Radio Star Worldwide, on demand 24/7. Produced by Star Worldwide Productions. You're listening to Paul Finck and the Maverick Difference Radio Show. Now, here's Paul.
Welcome back. This is Paul Finck. This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show, and I am the Maverick Millionaire, here to share with you what it means to achieve so much more in your life by being target-driven. The highly successful people in the world, the people that really grab hold of life as we know it, grab hold and make a difference in this world for you and I and everyone else. The ones who really enjoy life to its maximum potential are the ones that are target driven, are driven to achieve, are looking to reach their fullest potential. Reach your fullest potential. Think about this. Think about what's going to happen. You now know it's the last day of your life. You know you're about to die, and you start reflecting back on your life. Have you lived it to your fullest? Have you created the life of your dreams? Have you been able to say, yes, I am ready to face my death because my life has been fulfilled. My life has been everything I absolutely wanted it to be, and I've achieved and created and shared and brought into my existence all that I wanted to. More importantly, I've stepped up and created myself to be everything I wanted to be, everything I wanted to experience internally for myself. I've done that. Or are you looking back and going, woulda, coulda, shoulda? Man, if only. I had the opportunity and I didn't. I let fears, blocks, barriers get in my way. I never did those things I dreamed about so long ago. Never quite made it happen for myself. Well, I got to tell you, all it can end now, meaning you can start right now by creating a different existence, a different life, so that that is never you, so that your life is fulfilled to its maximum potential. It's your choice, and your choice right now to make that happen. How do you do that? You create your principal target. You create a clarity of target. Then you move on, and as you define it and you get clear on what it looks like, you then lay out the steps as to what it's going to take to get you there. You then take each one of those steps and you put it into your daily routine so that you get it done today. That's going to lead you to your long-term vision. Now, I mentioned that there's also short-term. There's long-term and there's also short-term. Now, often you can create short-term, what I would call short-term milestones, which are connected to your long-term targets. So a short-term milestone may be to write a chapter for your book. When the book is your long-term vision, writing a chapter in your book may be a short-term milestone. You could write a chapter this month. You could write a chapter this week. So now you have some short-term milestones. Now, sometimes short-term have nothing to do with long-term. You know, cleaning out my garage. Maybe my long-term vision is to have a clean house and to have everything in order and organized, and I can create goals, specific principal targets around that. That's more of a wish, but then break that down into specific principal targets. However, what about just doing my taxes? My taxes right now are, they're due. I've got to get them done. That's for this year's taxes. And so that's a short-term goal now, this month, this quarter. Not necessarily connected to my long-term dream, my long-term vision. So we have short-term and long-term, and each one of those the same process where we can break it down and then bring those action items into what we do on a day-to-day basis. So in your day-to-day game plan, your action items for the day, you're going to have steps on what to do for your short term and steps that are going to move you forward for your long-term principal targets. Both of those are going to be in what you do today. Is there anything else that you should be doing today? Probably not. Nothing else other than moving yourself forward to your short-term and your long-term principal targets. And that's where people get crazed. But wait a second, there are things that come up in my day that I, and hear the term, have to do. There's nothing you have to do. There is nothing you need to do any particular day other than feed yourself and breathe. And even those things are questionable at times. Absolutely, there's nothing. And people are like, oh, no, I need to go to work. No, you want to go to work. Like, no, you don't know my job. I do not want to go to work. I said, yes, because you get a paycheck and you want the paycheck. Well, like, yeah. Well, then you want to go to work. And understand everything that you do. Are there people that don't go to work? Well, yeah. And they're doing it by choice. Yes. So they don't want to go to work. And they're still living. Imagine that. Everything in your world you want to do. There is nothing that you need to do. So shifting your vocabulary will have a big difference. As you're going towards your short-term goals and your long-term goals, that should take up the majority, if not your full day. Everything to lead you, because you're either moving towards or you're moving away from your principal targets. You're either moving towards or you're moving away. So which is it for you? Are you moving towards or are you moving away? Are you working on it every single day? You want to connect what you do every day to where you want to go. Connect what you're doing every day to what you want to accomplish, who you want to be, what you want to achieve. Every single day. Oh, and by the way, when we're talking about our long-term goals and our short-term goals, we've designed them, we've decided that's what we want. I want you to just double check, just take a moment and make sure, is it really what you want? Is it really what you want? Do you know? I know when I first put down, oh yeah, I want this, I want that. One of the things I wanted was a Lamborghini. I put that on my list. Yeah, I want a Lamborghini. It sounded good. Sounded like what I should have on my dream list. It sounded like one of those things I should be going after. Well, then as I developed and grew and built my businesses and began to even come close to having enough money to put that into reality, I realized I don't want a friggin' Lamborghini. I have no interest in having a car like that. First of all, I'm a family man. I've got 6 children, 3 sets of twins. I got to tell you, you're not fitting a car seat in a Lamborghini. It's not happening. So that went right out the door. You're not fitting a carload of kids going to the soccer game in a Lamborghini. So that wasn't happening. And I realized it had no place in my life. It wasn't what I wanted. It was a program that got put into my brain that somewhere along the way, oh, well, when you're successful, that's what you get. No. So go through your list to make sure that what you're going after is really what you want, what you desire in your life, so that your principal targets create the life that you want when they all come into your life, so that what you're doing every day is driving you to a life you really want. And when you get there, it's so great. And the reality is that as you become target oriented, as you become target driven, which is where every successful person is and where every maverick absolutely lives, well, then what? As you do that, you will be building up yourself to be a better person, to be more congruent, to be absolutely everything that you desire to be in your world and in your life. And the journey becomes so much greater because you're living in that space. You are what you dream. You are your principal target. You are what you go after. Become that person. I've talked about building your principal targets. I've talked about defining them. I've talked about absolutely chunking them down so that they're lowest common denominator, so that you can move them into your day-to-day routine. Talked about the difference between short-term and long-term. So you're actually moving towards your dreams, or you're moving away in both the short-term vision as well as the long-term, and both have a place in your life. These components, and understand, you've got to believe that this process is the way to prosperity, that this process is the way to everything that you want in your life. You've also got to believe that those dreams, those principal targets absolutely are achievable. You've got to believe that they're not only achievable, that you believe them to such an extent that you will achieve them. And then nothing will stop you. We're going to be talking more and more about what this means to be a maverick and to create success in your life by doing things a little bit different, or a lot different than the majority of people out there, so that you can become part of the 5% versus part of the 95% of the people out there that are lost and broken and depressed and not knowing what to do or where to go. Come hang out. One other place I want to send you is the Maverick Difference, themaverickdifference.com. Themaverickdifference.com. You'll be able to get an ebook there that absolutely talks about some of these components and more. Go to themaverickdifference.com, themaverickdifference.com, and you'll be able to get a great book I wrote on this subject and some key components on how to build up business and increase and double your income over the next 12 months by doing less than you are right now. That being said, come hang out with me, spend more time. I am here and I want to help you make a difference in your life by giving you the steps to make a difference the Maverick way. This is Paul Finck. This is the Maverick Difference Radio Show. Till next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Paul Finck and the Maverick Difference Radio Show. You can listen to Paul live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern and anytime 24/7 on RadiostarWorldwide.com.